Hi, guys. Thanks so much, Erica, for having me. This venue is beautiful and only possible in Europe, as we were discussing. So what I want to talk about is an idea that I had, and really using this presentation as a thought experiment about getting tech tokens back on track after observing some trends that have certainly changed a lot from when I first got into this space and that I think are reversible. So I recently got back into trading. I'm mostly a builder, building Serotonin, my company. We bring the world's breakthrough technologies to market. But recently, I tried to get into trading again. And the last time I played with trading was a few years ago. It was in the last cycle, bought a bunch of different DeFi tokens that I was excited about, that I was using the products associated with. And then again, one cycle before when I bought my first ETH. And when I bought my first ETH, I remember what was going through my mind. This is the most exciting technology I've heard about. These are the smartest people that I've spoken to in ages, and so I have to be part of this. And so I went into trading this cycle with the same mindset. I found an interesting project. It had a great idea, a great team, a great product. The price seems low, and so I thought, should I buy the token? I reached out to head shaking. I reached out to a friend of mine who's a pro trader, and he said, no, you shouldn't buy the token. And the reason is that unlocks are coming. And I don't want to dwell on what the token itself is, because it isn't its fault, but this was when I asked, and this is the big unlocks that were coming. And so you could have seen why, based on this chart, I might have thought this was interesting to buy. And then you can see, based on that future unlock knowledge, why it wouldn't have actually been a good decision. This is actually Binance data from Binance Research, and 155 billion worth of unlocks are coming over the next 5 years. So there's a real wave of unlocks that are going to be hitting a lot of the tokens and projects that we know and love. I'm going to tell a second story, a fairy tale about my re-entry into trading. A token that I hold, I learned, was about to get listed on a major centralized exchange. Again, a token with a great idea, a great team, a great product. I reached out to my trading friend. Should I buy more? Anyone have the answer? No. Sell the listing news is what you do. And so, yeah. So that was where the listing announcement was when I thought, oh, should I buy more? This is exciting. There's a big company, a big centralized exchange that has certified that this is an interesting project. Shouldn't that be a buy moment? But no, it's a sell moment, because it started bleeding out, starting with the listing. And again, I didn't want to name the project because it's a great project. It's not their fault. And I actually think they'll do great. That being said, oh, my clicker is not working. There we go. So this is a graph, and this is just averages, so it's very general, of how projects do price-wise when they get listed on Binance in 2024. And this is not what it used to be. You can see the run-up in price as the listing news comes out, and then you can see how the token bleeds out in price once the actual listing happens. And of course, that could change. That was just this past year in 2024. But it's really interesting because it's shaping how people think and how people trade. And so this is the mentality among retail and I think among smart money VC investors about what's actually happening with these VC-backed tech tokens in our space. That at the very top of this price and cost basis food pyramid, you get the founders who come in to the token, who get it with zero cost basis. They're awarded the token. Then you get VCs and angels who are able to buy a large amount of the token at a fairly low price. Then you get centralized exchanges, market makers, and KOLs that are getting a % of the token's supply, usually, which is a different pool, but they're also getting in at a very low price. Then you get crypto Twitter traders, like my friend that I was reaching out to, and that's the smart money that's trading fairly cynically, knowing these dynamics. And then you get retail. And retail is how I was thinking. I was thinking, this is an interesting project. It's a great team. I should buy it. I was thinking like I was in previous cycles, oh, this is exciting. I should participate. I want to be part of this. And that doesn't work anymore. And I kind of think that's a problem. What retail thinks about tech tokens is that the factors that affect the price are hidden. Like, even if the unlock schedule is published somewhere, it is discoverable. If you want to do research, the average person wouldn't think to look for that. So they assume that the factors that affect the price are hidden. The perception is that smart money dumps as soon as they're unlocked. So regardless of whether it's an airdrop, regardless of whether they're VCs that were granted tokens in an early round, the perception by buyers is increasingly that the smart money is going to try to get out as soon as they can. And then this is a quote from Murad, who from his talk at Token 2049 last year. Why should we play at your tables when we can create our own tables? Speaking on the part of retail. And they are playing at their own tables right now. So this, again, is averages. This is the market caps of tech tokens versus meme coins and AI agent coins. And you can see that meme coins and AI agent coins are becoming popular with retail, arguably at the expense of tech tokens that are actually really building technology projects. Now, we're mostly builders here, I think. I'm mostly a builder. And so I don't like focusing too much on price or who's buying my token. But why is this a problem? Well, this is kind of mushy, but I think the next generation should have the wealth creation opportunity that we did. And they should be able to identify a really exciting project, get involved, and have that be a huge opportunity for them the same way it was for my micro crypto generation. It's also against the ethos that inspires smart people to come and build in crypto to have everything be so non-transparent. And then I think if value moves from projects that concentrate optimism about technology to projects that are financial nihilism, ultimately that's not the right condition for flourishing. As much fun as AI agent coins and meme coins are, we want to make sure that people are coming and supporting and being part of real optimistic technology projects. And then projects actually need retail to grow. So retail being skeptical about tech tokens actually leads to less exciting BUIDLing. It didn't always used to be this way. So this is the evolution of how token generation happens. We see a lot of this at Serotonin. We've worked with tons of projects through token generation, beyond, before. Obviously, the first token in this context, Bitcoin, it was mined. It did not have an ICO. Then you have something like the original Ethereum ICO. You could buy in before the chain was launched, but it was really very open, and then it launched as soon as possible after that. Then we get to the ICO era. We start having SAFTs. The IEO-IDO era, again, we start having a lot of private agreements about token price, and then later it launches to retail. And then now we're at this point where a lot of launches, they have these SAFs, they have these private agreements around price, and then they also do an airdrop later to drop it to everybody else. And so we went from extremely transparent to progressively less and less transparent. So we started with no hidden investing or unlock schedules. We had full price transparency on chain. We had open to all at every price point that the token hits. Then we progressively moved into this world where vesting and unlocks are happening for the team and for VCs. Having these private SAFT deals have become the standard across the industry. And maybe this sounds naive to say, but different people just have access to different prices. And that's weird for something that's supposed to be on-chain, transparent, open. And now we live in this airdrop world where airdrops are getting farmed by bots and then dumped. We have VCs, centralized exchanges are perceived as dumping on retail, and then retail loses trust. And you can see that with the AI agent coins and meme coins. And so what I want to propose is that we try to go back as a thought experiment to some of these original values and see if we can create new standards around tokens and token launches that would earn back some of the trust that's been lost. We can actually learn a lot from meme coins and AI agent coins. They actually have some of those same qualities that were in the left chart of the last slide. They have full market cap transparency. They have no hidden vesting or unlock schedules. They have equal access to public decentralized launches, and they have really straightforward tokenomics. And so I want to introduce just a thought experiment, an idea. I'm calling it clear coins because of the history of colored coins, but I'm sure it'll get renamed or called anything else in the future. Laying this out mostly as a thought experiment. What if we genuinely had the goal of restoring trust, of building community around ideas and technology? Because meme coins and AI agent coins are fun, but if I was at a meme coin conference right now, I don't know what I would talk about with people. Did you buy this meme coin? Did you buy that meme coin? It's not interesting. We also want to offer economic opportunity. We want to bring people together around technologies that can actually grow in the future and that can change their lives. And we want to make crypto fun and impactful. We want to continue changing the world. And so the clear coins ethos that I want to lay out is striving to make tokens more clear for everyone. The idea that what makes token unclear tend to be the deals that happen off-chain. So the Web 2.5-ish nature of tokens, the fact that there are all of these traditional system legal agreements and deals going on in the background, and then there's this stuff that happens on-chain. I think it's pretty clear that the murky stuff is what happens off-chain, and the clarity is what happens on-chain. So that token deals, data, prices, this should all live on-chain as much as possible in order to try to get toward this clear standard. So here are some proposed rules, and these are just an idea. One is having projects be transparent about all the prices at which they've ever sold tokens, and having this live on-chain. Having everyone be able to get the same access to tokens at various prices, avoiding private sales and pre-mines as much as possible. Now, if you're building a new layer 1 and the blockchain you're building doesn't exist yet to launch your token on, it makes sense that you would have to sell something. But there's no reason not to be transparent about the price later. The no lockups or vesting. I want to go into this. I think that we could have a new mechanism where supporters can choose to lock their tokens publicly on-chain for any time period. So we wouldn't have people saying that they have conviction about a project, but not actually putting their money where their mouth is. And so you could actually see on-chain exactly who has chosen or what wallets have chosen to lock up their tokens for what period of time, and see through data, through publicly available data, who actually has conviction and how much value actually has conviction in this project for how long, instead of these artificial lockup periods by investors and by teams being so determinative about what happens price-wise to a token. And so this locking concept, which really comes from staking, which comes from curve lock drops, there's a lot of precedent and thinking that's gone into this before. If we had this locking mechanism, publicly locking for a long time is a concrete way to show conviction. You get a lot of KOLs on Twitter saying, I have conviction about this project, I'm excited about that project. Well, show us, right? We're in an era now of prediction markets, of pressure to actually put your money where your mouth is. If you say you believe in something, let's see the proof that you actually believe that. I think this locking concept could be the foundation of new token generation mechanisms where you could offer special discounts like a lower price or rewards for locking more longer. Imagine an ICO-style launch where someone gets a lower price on a bonding curve if they're willing to lock their tokens for longer. Then the benefit here is the public sees the truth about who, I guess, pseudonymously, someone could choose to, dox what public key is theirs. The public sees the truth about who has what conviction in a project. And the goal here is to restore trust between VCs and investors, between teams and retail. Okay, I'm going to go to the wait but slide about all the problems with this. So the first problem that I thought you would think of is VCs will never agree to this. And I think that it's in everyone's interest to restore trust between market participants. Plus, also in this kind of scenario, the same rules would apply to every investor. So it's not like some VCs would have an advantage and some would have a disadvantage. Second thought was founders will never agree to this. Well, if Clearcoins can actually earn back enthusiasm for tech tokens and bring back volume and community into them, I think that'll make founders happy. And then, wait, without any lockups, won't there be more rugs? I think what will end up emerging here is some kind of clarity index, some measurement for how much people have locked their tokens and for what length of time, and that'll be necessary in order to attract capital. So you can actually see how much conviction there is in a project and use that to make your decision about whether you want to buy in or not. So maybe there will be short-term more rugs of smaller projects, but I think long-term you'll have to show that you've voluntarily locked in order to attract capital. Then, okay, but everyone getting the same price? That's crazy. Well, maybe investors can prove their skill to LPs, not by getting inside deals, but by picking the best projects. Won't people still dump tokens? Yes, but I think they'll start dumping tokens more like how Bitcoin or ETH buyers today might dump on, or today might feel dumped on by earlier ones, and less like private deals dumping on retail, these really massive graphs that we were seeing earlier. And then who's going to build this? I actually don't think this is complicated from a tech perspective. This is just reapplying well-known concepts like staking and lock drops. Getting adoption for something like this is harder, and obviously there's a chicken and egg effect here of investors and projects being interested in a standard like this, but want to help. This is something that I'm really passionate about because I would like to see a world where we can form genuine communities around some of these new technologies that we're building. Thank you so much for listening to this. I know this has been a wild thought experiment. If there's anything in here that interests you, please feel free to reach out to me, whether it's through this mechanism or any other. I'm really interested in building a space that people are excited about and want to participate with a lot of these technologies that we're building. So thank you so much.